and welcome back to Teen Vibe, where we are about to enter the world of gaming. We'll be taking a look at possibly some of the most anticipated games of this year, as well as some to look forward to. First up, we'll be reviewing under our gaming microscope. We have the 5th installment in the prominent Elder Scrolls series. This classic RPG brings new life to the franchise with a mix of new dungeons, dynamic combat systems, and brand new graphics. Here it is, Skyrim. Wow, what a great trailer. So, Brian, what was the highlight of the game for you?
The highlight of the game for me was the freedom and the unlimited possibilities that the game provided. It had a gigantic map, and Bethesda Softworks has really pushed the envelope to bring us just phenomenal graphics.
So, did the game reach your expectations and sync with the hype that surrounded it for months before its release?
People were waiting for this game for years. I know that for a fact. And they released snippets of footage, as teasers, and that really made people desperate for more. So that's probably why there was so much hype.
Especially in the fantasy world. I mean, there's a massive following around the world for fantasy
really
games,
followed,
and it's one of the biggest games, one of the biggest fantasy games of the year.
So, what rating would you give this great game then?
I would give it an 8 out of 10.
Okay, so up next, we have a review of Arkham City. With its similarities to a Batman game, the game gives a sense of control to the gamer. It's an action-packed game, but still leaves space for each game to be individual. Arkham City.
How does it feel, Wayne, to stand on the very stones that ran with your parents' blood? Do you feel sad?
Bruce.
Full of rage? Or does that outfit help bury your feelings, hiding your true self?
You become what you've always fought against, and I will stop you.
I have powerful friends, Batman. This is just the beginning.
What a great trailer. So, Bryce, what was the highlight of the game for you?
Highlight of the game for me, number one thing is basically the freedom. I mean, the whole atmosphere of Arkham City in the game, it's so dark. It has its own atmosphere of itself. You feel like you're actually there.
So, did the game reach your expectations?
I think it did. There was a lot of new stuff in the game, and it really stepped up from the last games.
All my friends were telling me about it and saying, you have to get this game, you have to get this game. And when I got it, eventually, it turned out to be fantastic. It was really, really good.
So, what rating would you give this game then?
I'm going to give it a 3.5 out of 5. It was brilliant.
Alright then, moving right along. The highly anticipated Halo 4 is set to be released in Australia in November. The 4th game in one of the world's most prominent game series seeks to tie up the Halo saga with the return of the iconic character of this generation.
Oh God! What are those things? Immediate assistance! All units, please respond!
I was put into service 8 years ago. AIs deteriorate after 7.
I will not allow you to leave!
I have long dreamt of this day, Reclaimer.
That sure looks impressive. So, Brian, from first glance, do you think this game will be as successful as its predecessors?
Look, I'm a massive fan of the Halo franchise. It's really, the story has been told really, really well. And at first glance, I was a bit skeptical of how 343 Industries are going to pull this off. But from the trailer, yeah, it does look pretty good, but some fields could be, improved.
So, do you think the violence contained in this game will become controversial at the time of its release?
Not in this day and age, considering the amount of games that have blood and violence and drugs and that kind of content, it's not really going to have a big effect.
So, do you think this game will tie up any loose ends from the series?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes, it will.
Alright. And up next, we have a preview of the third chapter in the Assassin's Creed franchise. It will bring a new style of gameplay to the already popular franchise that took the world by storm on its first day of release.
On him!
So, Bryce, from first glance, do you think this will be as successful as its predecessors?
Well, I haven't followed the Assassin's Creed, franchise as a whole, but the graphics, they just drew me in. I love them already, just from the trailer. I hope they're like in the trailer. I really, really look forward to it just because of those graphics. Looks brilliant.
So, do you think the violence contained in this game will become controversial, or?
I don't think so. As Brian said just before, in this day and age, so many games are being released with violence and that sort of content. So I don't think it'll be massively controversial.
So, do you think this game will tie up any loose ends from the series at all?
As I said, I don't follow the series, but I think because it looks like there's a really, really intricate backstory again, and I think for people who follow that, it's definitely going to tie up some loose ends.
Now, to mix it up a bit, if you both had to choose your 5 favourite classic games, what would they be?
Brian, you want to start?
My favourite is easily Mario Kart. It's fun as. Then Pac-Man, Crash Bandicoot, Space Invaders, and Tetris.
All classic games, pretty good. I've gone Pac-Man number 1. Great classic game, classic arcade breakthrough for its time. Crash Bandicoot's on my list. Sonic the Hedgehog, the whole series, brilliant. Mario Brothers 3, another brilliant game.
Well, thank you very much, Bryce and Brian, for joining me here today. And up next, we have our music segment with our up-and-coming Brisbane talent. So, stay tuned for more Teen Vibe right after this.